Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It's Monday again. Where is the summer going? I'm Dr. Laurie Davis, and you're watching the Today Show here on the Disability Channel. And my co host, Virginia Clarke, is with me again for Empowering Monday.
Yes.
Monday is empowerment, right, Virginia? Self care, self improvement. How was your weekend, Virginia?
It was hot, but I loved it. It was good. It was fabulous. Yeah. It was a really good weekend. I enjoyed myself. So, yeah.
Wouldn't it be great if we could just bottle this up and sell it in the wintertime?
Yes, we'd make millions.
I know. Well, I had an amazing weekend too. I went away. Originally, we had made plans for my birthday earlier in the month, but due to, my husband Ron got the shingles, but he came through it beautifully. No pain, no itch. But I think that's because we got him right away with some antiviral medication, which, we don't like taking, but sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
And so this weekend we spent time with my sister and her husband and son and my besties, and we always celebrate each other's birthdays. And also Ron's cousin. He has a cousin here who turned 80 in March, and we couldn't get to the party. No one got there because of the weather that day. So anyway, it was celebration time, no phone, no computer, off the grid.
Perfect.
Felt great. But came home and looked at my calendar and went, Monday, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Bigger than life. So anyway, welcome everyone to the Today Show. We're going gangbuster. I had a network meeting this morning, and we can boast we're like up to 25,000 viewers per episode, Virginia.
Yay!
And that's just after 3 months on the air. That is incredible.
Yes,
But
amazing.
that's all. I know, but that's all the promo work that goes on behind the scenes, and people putting the show up on their Facebook pages. And we would encourage that to share the show. If you want to help us out, share the show.
Yeah.
And put it on your Facebook page, put it on your LinkedIn, Instagram, anywhere, because it's right now streaming live on Laurie Davis Facebook page and our 2 YouTube channels. And those are places where we go directly live, so you can go in and share the show.
Yes.
Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Kathy Bell. Someone else is here too. So I don't know who they are, but if they put their name up, we can say hello to you this morning.
You say hello.
Because you may have questions, because Virginia and I are going to talk about a little touchy subject.
It is a touchy subject, yeah.
And it might hit a nerve or two, but that's why we're here, is to wake people up.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
Yes.
Right on.
Yes.
So, Virginia.
Yes.
When we talk about guilt, you know my thoughts on that, and I'd love your thoughts on that. I think women are born with 2 extra chromosomes. You know how we have the chromosomes in our body? Well, I think women have 2 extra ones. One is called guilt. It's like we're born and it's tattooed on our forehead. And then the other one is called on sale. Because if we see something on sale, we don't even need it. We get it, right?
It's a good deal.
I think that's in our DNA or something. I don't know.
So. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yes, it's a tough one, especially I think when you become a parent too, because that you just think you should be doing everything. You see all these other people, oh, she's baking every day and she's sewing and she's so, as a, especially, parent, you know what, you do the best you can. That's all that matters. Guilt is,
yeah. So what you're really talking about there is comparing.
Yes.
Oh, and don't we all do that?
Ooh. Oh, yes, we do.
She's thinner. She's prettier. Oh my God, I wish I looked like her. I wish I was as smart as she is.
Yeah.
You could spend a whole lifetime doing that.
Sometimes
And
our parents do that for us too. Why can't you be more like
oh,
your sister?
oh, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, definitely
Mm-hmm.
comparing kids to
Yeah.
each other. Why
Yes.
can't you be more like your brother? You're
Yeah.
just like your father. Oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how do we escape it? But
Yeah.
so we're going to actually today, Virginia and I are going to really do a great job. I know we will because we've delivered this many times.
Many times.
The difference between guilt
Mm-hmm.
and shame,
Yes.
and share some stories around that. So, the first story I want to share is a personal story, and you've probably got one too. Let's go back to childhood. Now,
Goody.
every kid, I think, tries to steal at some point in time, whether it's a chocolate bar, bag of chips. And my story goes back to many years when I was about 7. And then I want you to be thinking of a story, Virginia.
Okay.
Um, and it was just one of those rare times in my life where we lived somewhere long enough where I could actually take piano lessons. And my piano teacher lived up the street. And she owned a big string of nursery schools. It was in Montreal, and she owned a big string of nursery schools in Montreal. And I loved going there. So this one day, and this story is about how smart my mom is. And so she used to say to us, if you get there early, you wait for, she was French, very French. If you get there early, you wait in the back porch and I will be along, because she was always traveling around the city. So this one day I arrived early and I stood in the back porch. And when you're standing in the porch, you could look down the stairs into the basement. And here were all these supplies that she used, like crayons and colored chalk. And one of my girlfriends still jokes about the fact that there's crayons in some of our packages. I know it goes back to that. And anyway, I thought, oh, I've got to go down there. Temptation took over. So I go down the stairs and I help myself to, and I love crayons. I buy crayons every chance I get, even to this day, and I love to color, but they have to be sharp. Okay, but this is back in the day before they had sharpeners.
Mm-hmm.
So I helped myself to a box of crayons, put them in my pocket, and quickly ran up to the top of the stairs and waited. Then she comes home, and I had them hidden in my coat pocket. Had my piano lesson, then I went home. Well, duh. I pull out the crayons because it's raining and my mom's getting supper and I wanted to color. So my mom looks over and she says, oh, where did you get the crayons? Well, what happens then? You turn into an automatic, by default, liar
Mm-hmm.
to cover yourself. So I said, well, I just got them from a friend. Now, Virginia, you're a mom. You wouldn't buy that, would you?
No.
No. My mom didn't buy it either. She said, I know where you got those crayons. You got those at Madame Goudreau's basement. So you're going to march right back up there and give them back and apologize and return them. Now, when you're 7, you don't really have any time concept. And I did not want to be embarrassed. I wanted the crayons. I took them outside. I hid them under a bush quite near the railway tracks, which were right practically on our doorstep. And I went back in the house. Well, my mom looks at her watch and she goes, didn't have time to return those crayons, my girl. So she walked back up with me and we returned the crayons. Now, here's the difference. My mom said, you don't steal other people's things. That's not a good thing to do. So don't do that. And there were consequences. But you see, a different kind of mom might have responded this way. And this is the difference between guilt and shame.
Mm-hmm.
The other way that she could have handled that was, you know what, everybody? Laurie just stole some crayons and now we have a thief in the house. Keep an eye on your jewelry and your valuables. See, because once we get that label, that's where we internalize the guilt and make it about shame. Now I'm ashamed of myself.
Yeah.
But my mom didn't do that, and I'm really grateful for that. And I remember that now, looking back. Wow, it could have been a lot worse.
Mhm.
So guilt is about the deed, shame is about the person.
Mhm.
So it's okay, and that's where we learn it's not okay to make a mistake,
Yeah.
because then we're punished in a way that makes us feel ashamed of who we are. So do you have a childhood story you can share?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know
Different?
why I'm so echoey.
I don't know. It's okay. I
Okay.
can.
Mine would be I was probably about, I'm going to say 10. Um, my parents first split up when I was 10. So we were visiting my dad that weekend. And um, he had got some candy for us. Now, I don't know if it was around Halloween or not. I don't know. It was so long ago. But I had taken some extra and I hid it in my room so I could snack on it later. And I had a special place in my room, up in my closet. There were solid shelves so I could climb right up in there and hide. And I have a little sister. And of course, she wanted some candy. And I wouldn't share with her. So she went and told on me. um, in that case, I mean, my dad was pretty, he could be pretty violent when he wanted to be. So I definitely got a licking. And yeah, was absolutely made to feel ashamed about what I had done. There was no, like your story where your mother didn't go down that path. My dad absolutely, you just like so and so, or just so. Yeah, so that would be mine. I never did that again in his presence, just for that reason. I was terrified of what would happen. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think all of us have those kinds of stories when we were corrected or disciplined, and really how that happens has an impact later on. And people might just take that for granted, that, oh, well, it was nothing, and every kid gets into trouble, and try to justify it all. And I mean, our parents did the best they could with where they were at the time. So this is not about blaming parents, but it's just how impactful how our parents handle us and how that affects us later on in life. All right, well, we're going to take a little break. And of course, we're getting ready now to get our sponsorships and our advertisers going and get their ads created. We have a whole production team behind us who will help us to do that. So be practicing what you want to say in 30 seconds or a minute about a product, a program, or a service that you have to offer. Maybe you have a book you want to get out there. And now that our numbers are where they are, we have no idea how many people are going to see your product, order your book from Amazon, call you up and want a service from you. So let's pitter patter, let's get at her, because this is the greatest platform in the world to do that. So on Mondays, we offer a show, Virginia and I, and we'll have guests on our show. But right now, summer's a little iffy for people, and we're now booking into September. But Monday is self-care, self-improvement. So if you're in that industry, if you're in the field, the helping field, this would be a great place for you to advertise, because the viewers that watch Monday's show are people who are really interested in empowerment, self-care, self-improvement. So if you have products, programs, and services that would support that, feel free. They're chopping trees across the street in my yard, so we can hear the machinery, no doubt. So here we.
The day is set. Join us October 12th, 2024 at Carrigan Arms for our next fundraiser in honor of veterans, the Invictus Games in British Columbia, Canada, and TDC Employment Program enrollment. For more information, email us at info@thedisabilitychannel.ca.
Oh my goodness, I muted because they're chopping trees across the street.
It's okay.
All right, I closed the window and jumped back in. Anyway, welcome back. You're watching the Today Show here on Monday, and my co host, Virginia Clarke, and we're talking self care, self improvement. And today we're going to talk about shame and guilt. So we just finished explaining the difference.
Mhm.
And shame usually comes when, let's say, one of your kids make a mistake, and you make that mistake, you either punish the deed or you punish the child.
Mhm.
So that's kind of a simple way to say that.
Mhm.
But we have a list. Now, if you want to get out a piece of paper, we have a list of 25 behaviors, attitudes, beliefs that are actually rooted in shame.
Yeah.
And you may not know that. You might think it's just normal. That's just me. We justify things. But we'll go through the list and then we'll do the scoring to help you see um, what needs to change for you. Because, Virginia,
Yes,
okay, we cannot change what we are not aware of,
absolutely.
right?
Yep.
We have to be aware of it. Otherwise, we can't change it or fix it. So why don't we get you started, Virginia? And you share the first 5. How about that?
Absolutely. Yep.
And I'll just explain what we're going to do. Virginia's going to share the behavior, the attitude. And then you're going to decide, is that me? Yes. Then, so like number 1, if that's you, you put a Y for yes. If that's not you, you put an N for no, that's not me.
Yep.
Or an S. Sometimes that's me. Sometimes. So what's the first one, Virginia? And then I'll do that again just to explain that. So what's the first?
I feel there is something wrong with me.
Oh, man, I felt that way for years.
Hmm?
Right? I thought there was something wrong with me. So yes, why? I feel like there's something wrong with me sometimes. Or N, no, or S for sometimes.
Yeah.
So each one, we're going to score it. So our viewers can watch this and actually come out with some results about right in front of you will be wow. And if you want to write the item down, just write it quickly. We'll go slowly enough.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't finish it, we'll continue next week.
Absolutely.
All right. Right. Virginia, have you ever felt like there was something wrong with you? Because I'd like to have a little exchange over each one.
Yeah. So when we first did this, this activity, it was back in July of 2022.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So
I guess you're going to be rescoring yourself. Today,
I'm going to
right?
be rescoring myself. Yeah. I was an absolute yes then. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2.
Number 2, I find it hard to have eye contact, hugs, or physical contact.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
You know how we grow up in families and maybe, mom's side is really huggy and whatever, but dad's side's not so much. But yesterday when we were away on the weekend, I don't think I've had so many hugs in quite a while.
Yeah.
Because everyone that I'm associated with in that realm, we're all huggers. And but some people don't like that. They don't want to be touched. They don't. But that tells you something, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because hugging is very natural and beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And eye contact. Oh, I have a little story about that, Virginia.
Yes.
I taught high school one year. After I left teaching, actually, I substituted at our local high school. And the teachers told me, wait till Monday morning, you'll be able to tell the kids who lost their virginity on the weekend. I said, what?
Okay.
Yeah, you just wait. You can tell. I said, well, what's the big sign? How do you know? Well, they'll have their eyes to the floor. They won't be able to make eye contact. And they will have become extremely quiet. This could be your most vivacious cheerleader who's out there and she's all over everybody. And then all of a sudden, boom.
Mm-hmm.
That's the shame attached to that.
Yeah.
It was hard. I couldn't believe it till I actually experienced it.
And that's a good way to if you know someone who is that vivacious and all of a sudden they're so withdrawn or quiet, Yeah, maybe check in.
Something happened.
Yeah, something happened. You need to check in. Absolutely.
Right on. Mhm.
All right. Number 3, I am defensive if corrected.
Oh, that was a famous Laurie one. That was one of my personal favorites.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody makes a suggestion, or they do maybe correct you on something, or have an opinion, and you get all defensive, meaning you're going to try and justify it. And actually, justification is just another word for guilt.
Mm-hmm.
So you feel guilty about it, you're going to justify it. So you know how I used to always feel like I had to explain myself all the time. Have you ever felt that way, Virginia?
Oh, yeah. You've corrected me a few times on that.
Okay, I just probably made
I
a mistake.
learned. No, yeah, absolutely. You know, how are you going to learn if you can't be corrected? You know, how are you going to know if something is, you know, let's take someone playing sports. If you're not doing something right, you're going to be corrected. There's no point in getting defensive about it. You know,
No.
If you're not doing your job, it's your boss's job to say, hey, you're not doing your job. What's the point in getting defensive? Because you're not doing it, right? You're not, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So people have to decide, yes, I'm defensive. No, I'm not defensive. There's a defense. No, not me. I'm not defensive. I would never be defensive. There they are living it, right? Or sometimes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, next
Number 4 is a good one. And we really, really need to pay attention. I speak negatively about myself. Mm-hmm.
I'm not smart. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not good enough.
I can't do it.
Yeah, I need to lose weight. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kathy has a good question here, though. Good point. Okay. She says, yes, but sometimes the person doing the corrections is incorrect. Yeah. Well, that's when I say, if that's your experience, that's great, but that's not my experience.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's you're clearing yourself without being defensive, mm-hmm. Getting defensive. Yeah. It's dysfunctional to be defensive. Okay, Virginia, next one.
Number 5, I strive in an attempt to get approval from others.
Oh my gosh, this is so classic.
Yeah.
How many years did I do everything to get others' approval? I spent decades doing that. It cost me so much money, time, energy. I had to do everything to get you to like me. Oh my gosh, that was me.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You know, you fall into others' maybe habits. I know that I was that way with my dad. Absolutely. I wanted his approval the most. So then realized why. Yeah. Why do I need his approval? All I need is my approval. It took many years for me to understand that that's what I was doing and how dysfunctional it really was going down that path. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
I think it was about 45. And one of my first mentors said to me, and this had nothing to do with my parents, the way they were, but she said to me, how much longer are you going to work at getting the approval of your parents? I said, I'm not doing that. She said, oh yeah, you've spent your whole life trying to get the approval of your parents. I said, well, really? But I didn't see it. Right? No. Yeah.
Do you want me to keep going? That was the first thought. Okay. Number 6, I find it difficult to accept compliments.
Oh, bingo.
Yeah.
That's how you can really tell if someone's self-worth is not up to snuff, because they can't receive the compliment. Like if somebody compliments your hair or what you're wearing and you go, oh, this old thing, I got it at Value Village for $2.
Yeah.
Or, oh, she cut my hair too short and I can't wait for it to grow out. And, but, we're always resisting. That's the word there. So if you can't even take a compliment, how would you be able to receive a brand new Mercedes Benz if somebody drove it in your yard? Right?
No, absolutely. It was. I think that was one of the hardest ones I had to learn, was just to say thank you when someone complimented me, because I didn't think I was worthy of those compliments. It took a long time, as we go through our self-worth journey. Like you say, there's no end game here. It's a continuous journey that we're on, and sometimes you fall back into this defensive if corrected. Sometimes I fall back into that, and I'm like, wait a minute, what are you doing? You don't need to go there. So get yourself out of there, right? So just having those tools and that knowledge to get myself back out and back where I know, hey, you don't need to be doing that. It's huge. It's just the best thing ever, the best gift.
Now, Kathy has a comment here, and I'd like to make a comment about this. Sometimes not taking a compliment is a form of modesty. Well, good luck with that. But we were taught that, Kathy.
Yeah.
Because my mom would say, now, don't be thinking too highly of yourself. And just because you got a new bike and the other kids didn't get one.
Yeah.
And don't be conceited. We were programmed into that modesty. We were programmed that way, but it doesn't serve us. No. If we can't even connect to who we are, I am smart. I have accomplished things. I did my best. And somebody else notices it. That's how we connect with people.
Yeah.
So I understand that was a good comment, Kathy, because that's what we were conditioned into. And there's nothing that comes with being modest. It doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't serve us.
No.
Because then we don't get to really connect and have other people appreciate us,
Yeah.
So you just start practicing that with a thank you, acknowledging that. Otherwise, you've told the other person, they have no idea what they're talking about. What, you like my hair? Are you kidding?
Or my lack of hair?
Yeah.
I've had more compliments on my lack of hair.
Yes.
Since I've lost it. And I'm like, I think I'm just gonna not have it grow back. I'm not happy with the way it's growing back, so I just keep cutting it bald.
Well, it's because you have the right face shape and head shape. Yeah. It's glamorous on you.
And I'm like, thank you, because I don't identify as someone dealing with cancer.
No.
It's just a roadblock right now. I'm a hurdle I'm jumping over. So yeah, when people say, I'm like, thank you very much, because it does. Especially when you're going through something, even that little compliment, thank you, because, I'm bald, but it's okay. It's okay.
Well, actually, for you, it wasn't a really big shock because you always wear your hair short anyway.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if somebody said, wow, you look really glamorous, with your hair gone, and you were to go, oh, it's the cancer. What you just told them is they have no taste.
Yeah. Your taste is all in your mouth.
Yeah, we're constantly resisting that. So when somebody says something nice to us, and so because if you can't receive a compliment, that's low self-worth. Yes. You're not going to be able to receive anything else either.
Yeah.
Right? Help, support, love, a partner, good kids, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So important. All right, we'll do one more and then we'll take a break.
Do one more. All right, number 7. I find it difficult to trust. And this can be others and ourselves.
Right. We don't trust our own decisions. This is so huge. We're going to take a break. And then we're going to come back and talk about that because this is a big one. And we might have to do part 2 next week, and I don't really care. All right? because this is our show and we can do whatever we like. All right, let's take a little break. And this is where if you have a product, a program, a service, a book, an upcoming event, and you want to get it out there, our numbers are growing by leaps and bounds. It's all over the world, this show right now.
The Disability Channel would like to thank our existing sponsors. We really appreciate the support and kindness from the BIAs across the GTA, Ontario, Canada, and our friends in the USA. We love making new friends. Thank you for supporting our existing employment programs.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the Today Show here on the Disability Channel, and Virginia and I hosting once again for Mondays.
Yes.
This, to me, you know what? This show on Mondays is like the best way to start your week.
Absolutely.
We don't talk about fluff and puff, and this is the real deal here on Mondays.
Yeah.
Because it's all about self-care, self-empowerment, putting ourselves out there, having a higher quality of life, having a beautiful life.
Yes.
So trust. You want to read that one again, Virginia, on trust?
I find it difficult to trust, and that can be others and ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about all the reasons why we don't trust. And we have very good reasons not to trust.
Absolutely.
What are some of the reasons?
Just the how we were raised. You know, maybe we didn't have someone that we could depend on or trust, or, you know, someone says something and does the opposite. So you can fall into that, well, I can't trust them because they never stand true to their word.
Right.
Something simple as that, you know, I'm going to meet so-and-so then, and you don't show up. You yourself, if you say I'm going to be here at a certain time and you show up half an hour late, that trustworthiness, someone is going to lose that trust in you as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's whether we have lost trust in someone or lost trust in ourselves. You know, maybe we made a decision and it fell flat on our face. We in our minds, oh, I can't do this, I can't make decisions. Again, that goes with, you know, speaking that negative, and you know, anything like that. Everything plays into one another when we think about self-worth and self-esteem and stuff like that. So yeah.
And you know, people have lied to us, they've stolen from us, they've cheated on us, they've said nasty things about us, gossiped about us. These are all things that destroy our trust. But you know, right in the middle of the word trust is that little word US. Trust. More than one person is involved here.
Yes.
Whether it's self and self or Virginia and Laurie.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is you paint everybody with the same brush, and then you miss out on really good people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, years ago, I had a beautiful condo. I lived by myself. I had a girlfriend with 2 teenagers, and she was on the street. And I said, listen, that nasty divorce, and he kicked her out. I said, come stay with me. I've got room, got 2 extra bedrooms, you know, and you can come and live with me until you get yourself on your feet. 3 months later, I got home from work and my place had been cleaned out. They even took my electric toothbrush. And who would want to use that? I don't. But anyway, turns out her son was on drugs. And anyway, you know, after that, the normal route for me would be, and this is when we make these declarations, I'm never having anybody in my home ever again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And where would I be today if I had followed on that one?
Mm-hmm.
I've always got people in my home. I've just got a friend downstairs right now moving out today.
Yeah.
You know, but I didn't let that tarnish me.
Yeah. Because
for me personally, I trust you until you give me a really, really, really good reason not to.
Yeah.
And I have forgiven people and they have forgiven me, and we don't always do the right things, but we must trust. Well, let's put it this way. If we don't trust people or don't trust, we're guaranteed nothing.
Mm-hmm.
if we do trust, at least we have a chance at something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't know what that might be. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Totally.
All right. Number 8, we touched on a little bit last Monday when we talked about I have a fear of failure or success.
Oh yes, we did cover that.
Yeah, we did.
And I think we came to the conclusion that we're not really afraid of failure, because we all know we've all messed up. We've all made mistakes. We got through it, and we know what that looks like, what it tastes like. But the fear of success, especially amongst us women, is like a pandemic. And we can take things right to the finish line. I did this, built something from nothing, got it to the finish line, and dropped the ball. How many times did I drop the ball? I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there, Virginia. Can you pull it out of me?
Absolutely. Yeah. And then it goes back with that, when Kathy had brought up that modesty. Well, you're successful. Oh, and now, I got this, I got that. So it's programmed into us about, well, you don't need to be that. You don't need to be successful. You find someone to take care of you. You blah, 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 blah. And again, like I say, everything in a sense is connected to, our thought patterns, our belief patterns, maybe how we were raised. So those are things that we have to think about when we go forward and talk about our empowerment. We don't need someone else to empower us. We can empower ourselves.
Oh, well, if we need other people, we're out of luck.
Exactly.
Because people climb the ladder, and there's always a bunch of people at the bottom wanting to pull you back down where you are. Because that's where they are comfortable with you.
Yes.
And when you have a fear of success, Kathy asked a good question here. What's the excuse for dropping the ball? Was it too much work? No. Dropping the ball means, what if this does work?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. This is actually going to work. So I better not go there, because will my family still love me? Will I have a big head? Will we start justifying again?
Yeah. And that self-doubt comes in.
Right. Yeah. Will I be different? Will I act differently? No. And so people aren't willing to take those risks to jump over that hump. That was me. I lived it.
Yeah.
Not this time, though.
No. Okay, number 9. I think the worst is about to happen.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I have a story about that. I have a story about everything, but I think that's because of my age now, and I've been there.
Experience.
Not that I'm not a know-it-all, because personal development, like you said, Virginia, there's no arrival time.
Yeah.
Because life changes, we get older, we learn more. We always need to be open to change. Yeah. And that's the thing. People don't want to change. We talked about that. That's one of the greatest fears out there. I like my little box, my little comfy life. Yeah. I don't want anything to change. But the problem is, life isn't like that. You're going to deal with those changes whether you like it or not.
Yeah. So
I say bring it on, and I like to create my own changes.
You can't grow if you don't change.
No. What was the item again? Because now I sidetracked and I forgot what you said.
I think the worst is about to happen.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So here's an example. You've got 2 neighbors, 2 moms, and they've got 2 little girls. And there's 2 big trees out back. So the first mom looks out, and her little girl is like way up on that tree. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, honey, that is amazing. Do you think you could go up one more branch?" Okay, that's encouraging, inspiring, empowering, and confident. Because the kid could do it. She'd already proven she could do it. Next door, mom comes out, little girl's up in the tree, same place, same height. And she says, "Get down from there. You're going to hurt yourself. If you fall, you'll break a leg or something. Get down." So one mother encouraging and inspiring and having confidence in her little girl that she wouldn't have gone up there if she didn't think she could do it. And then the other mother programming her to be fearful.
Yeah.
So
And it's that simple.
it is that simple.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my grade 10 homeroom teacher looking at me. I didn't do very well in school at all. My marks were like 60s and 70s
Mm-hmm.
in junior high. And she looked at me and said, Laurie Jeffers, you're never going to amount to anything with marks like that. And then you see, because it's a person in a position of authority, we believe them.
Yeah.
But I didn't believe her. I went, no. And then I became a teacher. Huh. Guess you don't have to be that bright. No disrespect. But once I got out of the school system and I went to teachers college, I loved it and I aced it. My marks went through the roof because I was doing something I was passionate about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. Number 10. This is a big one. I lack boundaries. I find it hard to say no.
Oh my gosh. You want to start off a conversation about that one? Because I could talk all day about that.
Yeah, I was that way when I was working in the healthcare field. You know, someone's not coming in. Can you work late? Can you do this? I don't know how many double shifts I worked. Because you just find it hard to say no. You feel bad. You feel really it's about, having no boundaries. And when I went through this program and realized, you know what, why am I burning myself out because someone else wants a day off? It was easier for me to say no, even if the person asking, they would try and make you feel guilty. Yeah, absolutely. Would try and make you feel guilty. And I'm like, nope, doesn't matter. I'm good. Mm-hmm. Thanks. Yeah. So, I absolutely, when I answered, I had sometimes, I think that it was probably more of a yes then, and it's definitely a no now. I know I don't have to worry about that.
No,
I'm good.
Well, that's not our responsibility.
Exactly.
Right? And, a simple example too of that is, I used to support a lot of things. And, they call me up at 4:00 and say, Laurie, we need 10 apple pies for the church supper in an hour. Can you take care of that? And I go, sure. Okay. And then I'd be driving around town like a crazy woman, buying up all the apple pies in all the grocery stores to get them to the church at 5:00.
Yeah.
I think not. Right?
Yeah.
Because then you don't stay well. You don't stay well mentally, physically, emotionally. It interferes with our health.
Absolutely.
Not to have boundaries.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, number 11. I reject others before they reject me.
Oh, classic. Mm-hmm. Classic. I had a client. I loved her. I still love her. We're friends. But she couldn't believe that I wanted to be her friend. I said, you're finished your workshops and everything. And I spent a lot of time in their home and likewise and whatever. And we had because I become friends with most of my clients at the end of the day. So I said, she said, why would Laurie Davis? This is how she said, I had to wonder, why would Laurie Davis want to be my friend? See, that's rejecting before you even get rejected.
Yeah.
Or you look at somebody, or you get talking to somebody in a lineup at the grocery store or whatever, and you don't want to talk to them because you don't like the way they look, or, you reject them before they even have a chance to reject you.
Yeah.
It's very common.
Absolutely.
Have you had any experience around that?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Would probably in my dating days.
Yes.
I was dating this guy many moons ago, obviously. And then I found out that he had 3 kids from 3 different women. So I was just like, no, we're not. Yeah. He went to show up at my house one day and he phoned and I'm like, no, I don't think this is going to work. He's like, but I'm sitting right outside. I'm like, yeah, no, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So, and I think I was famous for that. Just not, I enjoyed being single, but maybe it was just because same for that reason. I just didn't want to get rejected. I didn't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
I just learned to be on my own and be happy with it. But yeah, I think that would be probably the one that was be like, no, I'm saying no because yeah, it just
Saying no for no reason, really. So you knew more until you had more data or more
yeah, like
right.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a little break because once again, this is where you would showcase yourself, your products, your programs, your services. And this is just to give you an example of how long 30 seconds lasts. And you can actually say a lot in 30 seconds. I've been practicing.
Introducing Veteran House Alliance International Monthly 50/50 Raffle. Purchase your ticket today, link on display, and have a chance to win cash and help a great platform supporting veterans.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the Today Show here on the Disability Channel. And of course, Virginia and I, we start our week off by doing some personal development on the show, actually giving you practical tools and ways to become more self-aware, to recognize some things about ourselves. And the study of Laurie was the greatest study that I've ever done. And I keep learning more about myself every single day. And who wouldn't want to learn more about themselves? And some things I learned, I had to throw out the back door because they were not supporting me, not helping me to feel better or anything.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Number 12. I am performance oriented.
Oh, heart be still.
I knew you'd like that one.
Oh my gosh, that just got me like a zinger.
So,
oh my goodness.
You tell us, Laurie.
Can I tell you about that? Well, you know, Virginia, if you were coming over, if the old Laurie, if you were coming over for supper, it would have taken me 3 weeks to get ready for you.
Three weeks, yes. So performance oriented, how well can we do something? You know, all my value put into how I perform. You know, and then when something doesn't go right or something doesn't go our way, then we lose that self-worth again, that self-esteem. Maybe, you know, oh, I couldn't do it, I didn't get it done. Yeah, so how are you performance oriented? Is that how you put value on yourself? By what you can accomplish, by what you can do, what you can get done in a day. You know, when we think about our self-care, that's our whole body care, our mind, our spiritual, our physical. So if you're only thinking, what can I do, and not taking care of yourself, you're still not in that, you know, have a healthy wheel, a healthy balance wheel of everything that we look at when we think of self-worth and self-empowerment.
Yeah, because I didn't have any self-worth on the inside, so it was all tied up with how well I did things on the outside.
Exactly.
So, you know, could I make a perfect meal? Did I look perfect? Was I like like when I was a teacher, I had to be the best. I had to be number one.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all about very low self-worth, because all of your value is tied up on something on the outside.
Yeah.
But we do that when the self-worth has been damaged. We then spend the rest of our life trying to find it outside of ourselves. So, you know, a renovated kitchen, alcohol, a new boyfriend, you know, proving myself, always feeling the need to prove myself.
Yeah.
And I would, you know, I just lived so many years like that. It was very hard on me, very damaging, because nothing in my own heart, you see, nothing was ever good enough.
Yes.
There was always something. Oh, thank you for the compliment on the chocolate cake. But, you know, it's the first time I ever made one, and I didn't think it came out that well. And it was perfect,
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
right?
And again, they're all tied, not accepting that compliment, right?
Yep.
Even if your performance was fantastic and you still can't accept a compliment, you're right. There's still
No.
something going on inside that, hey, you know what? Something's not right. You need to
That's right.
maybe do a little inside work.
That's right.
Okay, should we do our last one on the page
Yes.
before we end? All right. I would blame others as a way to defend myself. So I would pass the blame.
Oh, this is so common in the workplace. People trying to find somebody to blame for something that didn't get done perfectly. Yeah, no, this is big, and I've dealt a lot with organizations, who bring me in to do staff development or team building or whatever. And I didn't get the report on the desk because Mary didn't get the information to me on time, and it's really all about her. Wrong. Yeah. Making excuses.
Yeah.
Have you had any experience with that in your working years?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Even in my last job, I had someone come up to me and say, hey, do you know so-and-so saying that you taught them how to do it this way? And I was just like, really? And she's like, yeah, but I knew better. She's like, she's been doing this for so long. There's no way she would teach you that way to do it. So it does, and I'm like, well, I know, that my work, I know I'm good at what I do. So that I have had that happen to me. Absolutely. As a way to defend themselves for doing something wrong, I've been thrown under the bus. But when you have people who know your work ethic, and know who you are as a person, and they got your back in a way. So, and even the manager was like, yeah, she's like, no, that's not the way it would go. So I didn't worry about it. I didn't stress. Yeah. Like, whatever. You do what you got to do. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, that's 13, I think, of them. And we have another 12 to go. And we'll do that next Monday morning. We'll expand our shame and guilt conversation. And just in wrapping up, thank you so much, everybody, for watching the show. We really appreciate that. And we just ask you to share the show.
Even if you like it, but like and share.
Yeah. Like and share.
Yeah.
And if you have time, a little comment, because that helps the ratings as well, doesn't it? Yeah.
Even if it's good morning or hello. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Well, tomorrow we have finance with Dr. Ramin Modiri. Wednesday is wellness. Thursday, we've got a very special guest coming in from Malawi, Africa, my good friend Hastings, and he's going to talk about his orphanage. And he takes care of 450 kids. And then Friday, we've got some artists coming in, some musicians. So we've got a big week planned. And of course, tomorrow also, the press box with Doug Smith, an hour after this show is done. And so, yeah, it's all busy times. And so we hope that we'll provide you with information that serves you, is of value to you, and expands you, because that's what this is all about on Mondays, is helping you to expand, not helping you. We can't help you do anything, but showing you that you can expand if you choose to do so.
There are always tools.
We can't help you.
Always tools.
We have over 1,000 tools.
Yes, we do.
That we can share with you. Yeah. All right, Virginia, you have a terrific day. And
you too, Laurie.
Thank you so much for today. And we'll talk to everybody very soon. Bye for now.
Four in the morning, and I raise my weary head. Get up and make my coffee, kiss the wife and kids in bed, put on my clothes, get in the car, head down that lonely street, wondering what today brings and who I'm gonna meet. Arrive at the station, put on all my gear, talking with my buddies, maybe later we'll go for beers, checking through the daily briefs before I head away, praying I'll make a difference in someone's life today. Stop cartel mules hauling people and guns with different drugs to harm loved ones, making money, that's their one and only goal. Process several hundred immigrants who came to America to get a chance for a better life. We give them control, we're the U.S. Border Patrol. People up in D.C. playing political games, not caring who their policies hurt. We're not people, only names. And even though our job is vilified and cursed upon, I'll stand my ground to protect this land for you and everyone. Several miles through the brush and dirt to carry somebody who got hurt, climbing a fence and fell to the ground below. Saved a family from a foreign land who tried to swim across the Rio Grande. Moments like these really touch your soul. We're the U.S. Border Patrol. We seem strong and courageous, but we're hurting deep inside. We feel like we don't make a difference, no matter how hard we try. I relive all the day's events when I try to sleep at night. But no matter what, I'll never give up this fight. Perform CPR on a casualty from a bailout truck trying to flee and missed a turn and hit a light pole. In my shift, head home and hug the family. My wife can sense something's wrong with me. This job really takes a mental toll. But tomorrow I'll give it another go. I'm a U.S. Border Patrol.